Now, there are a couple more terms that I want to introduce, which is programs and portfolios. Because we live in a world where it's not always just a one project thing. Sometimes we're running a project for, let's say, a server, but the server is not being done for itself. We don't install a server for the sake of installing a server. We install a server to support something else, right? Maybe we have a new campaign that we're rolling out for, let's see, for one of your products here. So whenever you rolled out any of these were programs. They had multiple initiatives in them, projects, processes, roles, responsibilities, legal aspects that need to be considered. Yes, you might think it's a project. It is not. Making the system itself, the platform, is an IT project. But using this as a service is a program. Making the system is not enough. So it's like having a laptop with specific software like Microsoft Office on it doesn't really give you results. It just gives you an object, gives you a laptop with Microsoft Office. Using it is something else. So programs require maybe 2 or more projects for them to complete. A good example that I like to give is I want to get my organization to be, you know how organizations always put in their vision statement to be the leading, to be number one, which is all useless stuff. Why do I say useless? Because everybody says the same thing. We want to be number one. You know, that's really nice. You all want to be number one. So that means everybody will fail except for one organization, because only one can be number one. But everybody says we're going to be the leading. Well, you cannot be the leading unless everybody else is not the leading. So how about if you want to be one of the leading organizations, or we want to become one of the benchmarks in the organization that, you know, achieves whatever. So we want to be the leading pay solution, or one of the top 5 pay solutions. Okay, we have Apple Pay, which is different, right? And we have PayPal, and we have credit cards, and we have other solutions, but we want to become one of the leading payment platforms or payment solutions to easily digitize bills and payments. This is not going to take just an IT system. You can build the IT system, but if nobody uses it, it's pointless. It's going to take marketing, right? You have to let people know about it. It's going to take partners. Either through banks or through organizations, or some other partner has to exist to support the usage of this. And it's going to have to win legal approvals also. So the people who deal with the legal aspects obviously are not the IT people. IT people have a different focus. And the people who deal with the partner relations and building that partner base, they're different from people who work in IT, and different maybe from the people who work on the legal side. So these are called programs because they have 2 or more related initiatives that complete each other to give you this capability, this KPI of a service that will be adopted. And usually we have a target that it's not to have 2 clients. We have an idea of how many clients should be adopting this solution, how much revenue we think this is going to generate for us, because we are there to generate money. So to provide a service, we usually think that it probably generates some sort of revenue. And so we run programs with a KPI that says we will run these 4 or 5 different projects that are different in nature, but all related to complete the picture. And within 1 year, we should have that many clients. Within 2 years, it should be that many. And we usually expect that some sort of a curve upwards in the right direction. And that over time, we become, you know, it pays for itself, or it becomes profitable for us. So that's how programs are. They have KPIs, they have expectations on a yearly basis. You do multiple different projects only for one objective, to roll out a solution, a product. Most products that are rolled out are programs. And it's not in seeing it, that's not the deliverable, it's the result that it's going to give us over time. So that's what programs are. So programs have multiple components that you need to manage in a coordinated fashion so that you can get the best result that you're aiming for. So they are not made of just one initiative, they're made of several initiatives being managed in a coordinated fashion so that you get the benefit that you want. And the benefit sometimes is not 1 + 1 = 2, 1 + 1 equals more than 2, because the collective benefit will give you a lot more benefit than each separately. So that's what programs are. When you say your airport needs to get rank in the top 5, or when you say the country needs to be in the top 10 for safety, or when you say, for example, we need to clean the air for pollution, these are not one item projects. These are multiple initiatives, including campaigns and events, and IT projects and websites and so on, for you to get a result. These are called programs. And if anyone's ever interested in programs, you can always ask me, okay? Because that's a different field. It's probably nicer than projects. Projects are more hands-on, closer to the action. Programs are the large-scale initiatives that affect a lot more people. So you can always be like really proud of some of these accomplishments. So that's your next layer up once you cross the project world. All right. Mind you, there's also a lot of projects that your organization needs to finish. So they need everybody's skill set there. Portfolio, managing investment assets, and usually the portfolio will have, you can look at this chart here. The whole organization will have a collection of projects and programs and stuff that are running at any one point. That's called your portfolio. Your portfolio. And inside the portfolio will have multiple projects, programs. In the programs, you will have projects. Mind you, in a portfolio, you could also have operations, but in a program, you could also have operations. An offshore program, let's say you're in oil and gas and you're offshore, meaning not on mainland or something, you may have operational activities like, fleet of cars, catering, housing, to support your team while they're working on that one program. So programs can have operational activities, portfolios can have operations. For example, Starbucks has operations, and their portfolio also includes opening new locations. So these are projects, or maybe expanding their reach in specific countries like in Italy as compared to local coffee providers. Those are programs that they're running. They want to eat a market share from that area. So these are programs, but they have their day-to-day operations. All together, this is the portfolio of Starbucks. Okay, so at your organization, you will have your overall portfolio of all the things you're involved in. Some will be projects, some will be programs, some will be even sub-portfolios. If I want to consider every city as a sub-portfolio, I could do that, or every service as a sub-portfolio, I could also do that, because that one has its own return on investment by which it's measured. And if that return on investment, if it's not good, then they could cancel this part of the portfolio. So that's why we usually break things into portfolio, so we can measure how much we get in return from every one of these to see if it's worth it to keep, if it's strategically important or not to do. So that's what the organization's portfolio looks like. And all of these projects, programs, and portfolio items, they're going to be using the same resources, the shared resources, the people, the money. And the money, if it goes into one area, it cannot go to another area. And so we have to make decisions on where that budget needs to be spent. All right, that's why you see these decisions being made on a yearly basis to cut this, add this, because they're rebalancing their portfolio where the money should be going. Okay, if you had only $2 billion and you spent $1 billion on one initiative, you are left with only $1 billion for the rest. Taking it from that initiative now opens it up to some other initiative. So this is balancing your portfolio. All right, can you think of a current project that your organization is working on or program, and what is the strategic goal or benefit of that one project? Some things enable us to do a lot more, and so they're worth investing in. Some things generate revenue for the organization, so they're worth investing. Some create new markets, and so it's worth investing. And the portfolio manager decides which of these projects or programs should be in our portfolio currently this year, next year, so that our goals in the end will be achieved. PMOs are beneficial for a lot of things, but they can be misunderstood. They can be perceived to be a house of power that wants to control things. So if that's the case, that's a bad PMO. What we want is a good PMO that supports its project managers, helps them, improves their learning knowledge, helps them save information and archive it so they can access it next time, help them know about best practices, finds useful tools or forms for them to use that would simplify work, not add more paperwork. Because, you know, I know what some PMOs do. Somebody is given a PMO and they go and roll out like, you know, 40, 50 different templates and they enforce it on everybody. That's usually not a good idea. What you want is to slowly include tools that are beneficial for people so they feel you're helping them out. So PMO can really be helpful as a house of projects. It, you know, integrates all of our experiences in one place. Just like you have an HR department, you don't spread it out. You have an HR, you have IT, you should have projects department. This is where everything happens related to project, upskilling, saving information, giving updates, status of some of the projects, rather than the senior managers going to different departments to ask. They could ask the PMO, and PMO could summarize the outcomes of all of these projects and report back upwards, give them a pie chart maybe. This is how many projects are in red, yellow, or green. PMO has its value when it's doing things right. All right, what else do I want to tell you? There are 3 levels of the PMO. Supportive is the lowest level. This is where you provide guidance, templates. If somebody has a question, they can ask the PMO, and PMO will provide this information. It's like you are the consultant for the organization. You can clear some questions they have. Like somebody doesn't know how to manage risk, they come to you, you help them out. But in a basic level, a supportive PMO, they collect status of different projects, put them on a report, and give to management. That's what they do. Now, if you've been around as a supportive PMO for a while and the organization wants to trust you, they can make you a controlling PMO. Most organizations have a controlling PMO. Controlling not in a bad sense, but they would put, for example, a process, a methodology, a certain set of templates or procedures we should follow for every project. They might do trainings every now and then, similar to this training. They enforce the rules, but they also support. So that's what it is. Controlling will also do what supportive does, but they do more. They can enforce. And they have some level of power that they can apply. Now, if you've been in a controlling PMO for a while, you can even become a directive PMO. A directive PMO, all the PMs are inside the PMO. They're not in different departments. They manage all the projects, not different resources. But directive PMOs, they also get involved in strategic planning with the organization, like what initiatives should be done this year, next year, and so on. They would be highly involved in that. So it doesn't mean they are setting the strategy, but they can tell management, yes, I think we are able to go through these projects, or if you're aiming to accomplish this year, we're able to do it, or we're not able to do it, because they can judge from the PMs that they have, from the resources that they have, from what has been done. They can tell which of these tasks can actually be completed.